Top 5
two-player Christmas games.
2019.
Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Rod.
I'm Bradley.
And today we're giving you two-player games that you can play at Christmas. These are not Christmas-themed two-player games, because that would probably be a very small category.
Right.
But these are games that you can play at Christmas time because, as we all know, sometimes and during the holidays we have some downtime.
Yes,
and
that's
this
right.
would be a great time to play a two-player game.
Yep. Or like at my house, you only have two people who want to play games.
Now that's a good point.
Everyone else, like maybe their cool down game.
Cool down. Well, they all go take a nap after the turkey and watch the football game. You sneak away for
And play a game.
Two-player game.
Let's play a game.
All right, top 5. So here we go. We're going to count down from 5 down to our number 1.
Okay, for me, my number 5 is a card game called Ascension.
Okay.
Ascension is, I like card games, I like deck builders, and what I like more than deck builders are games that you don't have to bring anything with you. It's all in the box, and even then there's not a lot of assembly acquired. You get a starting deck, just like Hero Realms, if you ever played Hero Realms, you get a starting deck that you actually buy, that you can use to buy from the market. That way each party, and that one can go up to 4, but if you're going 2 players, both of you have the right to buy whatever cards are there. This one's been around long enough that if you don't like the base, you can get a different version, and all the versions are different enough that you're getting a different experience. And it is number 5 and not number 1 because it's not for everybody. Even you know, I have to be in the mood for Ascension, but when I am, it's really a great game. I really like that.
We've got some history with Ascension, right?
Oh, yeah. Exhausted when we were at Gen Con, and we found a seat. And we sat down, and then you bought the game.
Yeah. They demo. We didn't even think we were going to like it. We just said, teach us this random game.
Yeah,
okay,
we were all just too tired.
Yeah.
And then we bought it.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like every box, I think, is its own. It's its own game. So you don't need any others, which is great.
It is.
You can add them in, I think, right?
You can, but I don't suggest it. It waters down the mechanics of each one that you're
flavor,
adding.
right?
That flavor, exactly. So just leave it with the one you have. It'll be fine.
Well, what hooked us, or hooked me, I guess, enough to buy it, was that they had this cool thing where you could, if you played a certain combo out of your deck, you could upgrade one of these cards. And that, like, blew my mind. I was like, wait, I get to take this out and put this really powerful one in now? That's amazing.
That's true. And it's not a come and get me or I'm going to get you kind of game. There's a certain amount of points that can be had in the game, and that's when the game ends. That's what you're going for. Yeah. There is no let me get your health down to 0 or anything like that. There's only a certain amount of points in the game, and you're playing until they're gone.
Right.
And so again, it's totally different than what other things are on the market. So that's why I like it. It's just different.
That's good. My number 5 two-player game is called Fox in the Forest. Now, if you like spades, if you like any trick-taking games, this is a great one to add to the collection because it is a two-player only version, which a lot of games like spades, you can play two-player, but it's this weird variant. A lot of people that are classic spades people are, I don't know about that. But this is a two-player version, and it is a trick-taking game where you're trying to take these tricks. But the coolest aspect of it all is that if you give all the tricks to the other player, like I forget what that's called in spades because I don't play a lot, but if you go 0-0, whatever it's called, if you do that, then the other person, if they take them all, then they don't get any points. And so it's this weird range, you know, you get all the points, they don't get any points. And then there's this middle range where then you both get points. And it's played over 3 rounds and then once, or I guess to a certain amount of points, I can't remember now. But it's just this really fun kind of, you could play it both ways. I could try to get a whole bunch, but not get them all. I don't want to be too greedy. And then the cards have special abilities, which gamers like that.
Yeah,
so like all the odd numbered cards have some kind of special ability. Like you can change the trump card. You can swap a card from your hand. You can do all these different things. And so it 2 players, You can go on the trying to take all the tricks or not, and the special abilities. It's just a fun game, and so my wife, who loves spades, enjoys this one, and so it could be one that you could lure somebody in if they like trick-taking games. So that's awesome. Fox in the Forest.
Awesome.
Okay, Rod, tell us what's your number 5 game here.
So mine is, and I can't pronounce it honestly, but it.
Spell it. Can you spell it?
Onitama?
Onitama.
Onitama.
I knew that's what you were going to say as soon as you said, I don't know how to spell it. I don't know how to say this. Onitama, yes.
Great little game.
Yes.
Small storage space.
Mm-hmm.
Very impactful when you're playing it. I just love the board and everything.
Yeah.
It is just a nice little game. Basically a miniature chess game. Love it.
It's very fun, yeah. And the coolest part about it to me is that just like in chess, you know how your pieces are going to move, but the ability to make those moves shifts around the board. Yep. So as soon as you do the move, like you would maybe like a rook or a bishop, then that card slides over. And then it sits there for a round, and then the next round, it goes to your opponent. So now you have this really cool move like the spider or the monkey or whatever. And I'm going to use it. But then in a second, my opponent's going to have it back.
Great little game.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That. I like that. So for me, number 4.
Number
4 is called Drako with a K. Drako. It's one party is a group of 3 dwarves that are hunting a dragon, and so the second player is a dragon, and it's versus each other. You're trying to take the other team out, and as a dragon, I have certain moves that I can use, determined by the cards in my hand, and the dwarves has the same thing. I actually haven't seen much on this game, but I played it at Gen Con this past year, and I really liked it because it's a small board. You can't run and hide, and even if you did try to, each party has tactics that they can use to run and get you. And so I really like it. It's, again, easy to teach because you only have certain moves that you can do each turn, determined by the cards in your hand. There's also Trolls and Knights that we played as well, and I'm not sure if it's out for retail yet, but I actually even liked it a little bit more, but I couldn't find that one to buy. So this one is sitting on my shelf, Drako, and I really like it.
Woohoo! Yep, sounds good. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it does look really cool.
And
Artwork's
minis.
great. Minis are cool.
Yeah.
Drako?
Drako
or Drako?
Drako. That's
Drako.
a great question. That's a great question. I don't
Tomato.
Tomato.
Onitama. Onitama.
Any proper pronunciation.
So my next one, my number 4, is actually a game that you could play with 4 players, but I really prefer it as a 2-player game, and this is Kingdomino.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is a very classic game. It came out a few years ago, won all kinds of awards. They made multiple print versions of this, and if you go get the one at Target today, it even comes with this cool little dispenser. So get the newest one. That's cool. Okay. It's a very simple tile-taking game like dominoes, only you're building a kingdom, and you're matching terrain types as you go. But the cool thing about the 2-player version, in the 4-player version, you're building a 5x5 grid, which is okay. But in the 2-player version, you use all the tiles. Well, you can play this variant. You use all the tiles, and you can build a 7x7.
It's a lot more.
And that's so much fun. It is so much fun to build. And it doesn't sound like it would be that much more, but imagine your points on a 5x5, but then on a 7x7, you can get even more points. And everybody loves more points.
More points.
You love multipliers. And so the game is really simple. You're multiplying how big a region is by how many crowns you got in that region. And so when you add in all the extra tiles, it just makes it that much more fun and exciting. And then in the regular game, there's a limited number of these. So if somebody else takes them, you're kind of like, well, if you do the variant, then there's a little bit more that you can kind of take. And I don't know. I just really, really like this game as a 2-player version because it's a back and forth on what tiles you choose. And so that makes for some agonizing decisions.
Good.
Love that.
Good. Number 4.
Number 4?
Unmatched. Awesome game. Incredible game. Might be the best game of the year.
Oh, wow.
But it's only your number 4.
I know. Theme. can't do better.
No.
Miniatures can't do better.
Can't do better.
Can't do better. Playability can't do better.
Can't do better.
Go buy the game.
Go buy it.
Awesome.
It is great.
It is great. It's just this cool little. You draw cards up, and so the only thing you can do with your character on that turn is what cards you have. Yep. So it really plays into some cool strategy.
Yeah. Even the artwork on the cards that you play with, I would hang any of them on my wall. Sure. Even just the simple artwork on the cards is great. I really like that one.
All right.
Number 3.
Three.
This one is an old one, but I really enjoy Hive. It's really it's a little more complicated, I guess, but it's only complicated when you can't remember what each piece does. And basically, if you've never seen it, it's a tile, and each tile has a different bug on it.
Right.
And each bug does a different thing. So there is no game board at all.
No game board.
You just set it on the counter, and the first piece down, that determines where the next piece goes. And it's player versus player. You all have the same pieces, and it's how you use those different pieces to best each other. And it's the replayability in that is great.
Huge, yeah.
It's huge. And we've got a little carrying case for ours. It's like that big, so it's really easy to carry around. And again, you and your grandma could play it. It's great. It's simple. It's easy.
And even what you get is like could last you until the paint comes off of it, And because these things you could throw it in a mud puddle, take them out, dry them off, and they would be fine.
That's so true. I mean, it's like a ceramic domino, but multiplied by 3. They're just huge, and you're right. I'm sure they're totally durable. I love that.
The strategy is a lot of fun, like in chess, where you know what the grasshopper can do, or the ladybug, or the mosquito, and there's a couple expansions.
Yep.
So if you want to add just a little bit more and then see how that changes everything, it's fun.
That's true.
Good choice.
Thank you.
Okay, so my number 3 has already been mentioned, and Unmatched.
Unmatched. Great choice.
And this is just such a great game. I know we've already said some of this stuff, but they've got some expansions that are coming out for this thing that just look so cool, with the Bruce Lee and Jurassic Park and the Bigfoot versus Robin Hood.
Oh, man.
There's just so many cool things that are coming out. My kid loves this. He's 8, and we've played it over and over and over again. And so I know the moment that I bring home that new expansion, I'm going to be a hero. He's going to be like, let's play it again, Dad. And this would be an awesome game for you to get at Christmas time. 2 players. If you got small kids or adults, it's just great back and forth. So go get Unmatched.
Possibly the greatest artwork.
Really good artwork. Yeah, awesome. Really
Bruce
great.
Lee. Incredible.
Incredible.
I was alive when he was. Anyway, forget it.
He's that old.
I know. Okay, what number are we on? Okay, here we go,
We're
guys.
still on 3, right?
All right, number 3.
3.
Another. These choices that I've done are just they're so great. War Chest.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is such a great
War
game.
Yeah.
I mean, just starting off with the pieces themselves. Comes in this little war chest, just like the game's called. The artwork's great. Looks very much like a Lord of the Rings type stuff.
Oh.
You open it up, and you got these large-sized chips with the artwork on there, and they're heavy, and it's like playing chess, but yet you do all these different maneuvers. It is a great little game. I mean, I just love it. I can't say enough about the game. It's awesome.
That's incredible.
The bag building version, just
great.
throwing those pieces in the bag and then pulling them out and see what you get.
And that's just awesome.
And you don't have to show your opponent your chips, so they don't know what you've got. And you can even, when you put one, discard one to get some more. You don't have to show them what it was. Right. And so it's really cool. So there's even strategy on. I think he's got one more of those in his bag, but I don't know.
It's an awesome game.
It is a good game.
Number 2 for me is Skulk Hollow. This one came out just this year, right? Another Pencil First Games, and it's this one you get so much in the box. It's got a ton of replayability because there's different monsters, there's different heroes that you can play.
Cool.
They're so cool. It's another one that it's got a smaller map, and so it's the gameplay's really condensed, and even the monsters that you can play are scaled from easiest to hardest to play with. So you can start out with the easiest, and as you get comfortable, you can move on up. It's so good. And again, the artwork in this one, it's great. It's great. It's cartoonish, but at the same time, it's what you might see in a comic book or something.
Yeah.
Like it's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
My number 2 is Skulk Hollow.
Oh,
so
got it.
We nailed it, man.
Nailed it.
He's exactly right, and it's just so much fun to see how each one of the monsters play completely different. And so there's a bird that when he's in the air he does things, or when he's on the ground
That's
he
true.
does things.
Yeah.
You got the octopus with the roots that come out of the ground.
He doesn't even have to move. He just does all of his movement through the tentacles. It's great.
And it plays pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so as a 2-player game, you can, so it's the same thing like with Unmatched. Like at first you're like, well, I want to play the fox and people and let me try that out. And then you're like, well, now I want to play the other guy. And so then you want to be the bad guy, but then you want to be all the bad guys.
Yeah.
And so I'm totally excited. And then quick backstory on that game, Ed Baroff with Pencil First Games, his kid had the idea of this game, and then Keith Matejka with Role Player created this world around it and created the actual game that it did. So it's a cool, my kid created this, we made it, and now it's really popular, and awesome. I couldn't be more happy for him because it's a great game.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
great.
There you go. Sorry for the
All
story.
right, so number 2.
Number 2.
Skulk Hollow.
No. Duel 7 Wonders game is
Seven Wonders Duel.
Just love the game. It is so much fun. And again, if you've seen our review on it, I did not think that they could make 7 Wonders into a 2-player game. I didn't think it was possible.
Right.
And they turned around and did it in a way that is fun. It is a very, very entertaining game. It's not very expensive. I say get out there and get the game. It's perfect for 2 people.
Just go get it. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, and in 7 Wonders Duel, they create this little pyramid of cards. And so on your turn, you have to pull one of the cards off. Well, when you pull a card off, now it's making a choice for your opponent. Now it's unlocking the 2 cards that are underneath it, or vice versa. And so it's such a tough decision in the game, because you're like, I really want this card, but then I know he needs that card, so I'm not going to take that, or whatever. And there's even ways in the game that it will end it instantly. Like if they get, I forget what it is, you can knock them off on the war track, or they get the science or something, I can't remember now. But so that there's some tension there where you're like, oh, it's really close, I could win, and
it's awesome.
That is pretty cool.
So my number one is Jaipur.
Jaipur. Okay, pulling out the classics here.
I know that one's older, but
this is good though.
That one, you might as well could call it like a great lunch game, because it honestly, that one plays super fast.
Right.
And it plays so fast that it's easy to get carried away with how many times you're playing it. It's just over and over and over again. And there's a mechanic where you trade in. If you grab a camel, you have to take all the camels, but then you can put all these camels back and trade them for something else. And so you sacrifice one turn to potentially, gain more on a different turn. And if you take advantage of that, it just, puts gas in the engine. And it's just, I don't know. It's something that I never played before this year. And now that I've played it, I just think about it all the time. It's just such a fast, quick, easy game.
Mm-hmm. And there's an app for it. I don't know if you're
into
into that or not, but there is an app for it, and it's a lot of fun too.
That is true.
Yeah, it's a great 2-player game. My number 1 2-player game, and this had to go in the number 1 slot. There's no other place for this game to be, because if you want the ultimate epic 2-player experience that will not take you 20 minutes, that will not take you an hour, could take you all afternoon, but you will leave every single time with the story of a lifetime, it is Star Wars Rebellion.
Oh, yeah.
Let's turn the video off. There's this is it. That's it. No, we need to hear Rod's number 1. But this game, if you like Star Wars at all, it's the most epic game of hide and seek ever, because you can be the Empire or you can be the Rebels. And if you're the Rebels, you have your base hidden somewhere on the board, and there are ways that you can slow down the Empire, but at the beginning it feels like they're way too powerful, and the Empire thinks that too. They're like, yes, I'm way too powerful, and I'm going to crush this rebellion. And every time I played this game, there's always been some kind of cool story. We even had a game where it was the total thing where the Death Star was there, and I played the run card, and we blew the Death Star up in my last turn.
Whoa.
Those are the kinds of things you dream about for board games, and this has it. It's not for everybody because it is a long game. There's a lot of tension. Some people don't like that, For me, it is the ultimate 2-player game. You can't get any better than Star Wars Rebellion.
Incredible.
That was an all right choice. So,
Okay, that's all right.
So I'm going to go back to my roots.
Okay.
Twilight Struggle.
Oh.
And I'm not sure. Have you guys played it?
No, I've never played it.
Not.
So the thing is with this game is I think it's a very much strategic, and it feels like it's a heavy strategic game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that feels like it is a heavy strategic
It is,
game.
yeah.
It is a higher learning level, but it goes, as soon as you get past that, I would say the first half of it, then it all just kind of comes together.
Right, yeah.
It is a long game, so that's that can be a negative for some people.
Yeah.
Although I do love the long games.
I do.
I think that it is a very, very good choice for somebody who is wants to really test themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very nice game, plays well, and when you're competing against somebody who knows the game, it is a blast.
Yeah.
And it is a very, very. I mean, it's just all I can say is strategic. Get in there, take a look at it, see if it's the type of game that you like, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
And it's ranked super duper high
Yeah.
on BGG. So there's a reason that this is a very popular game. I've never played it, but it does sound like something I'd be into.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Now, who's going to buy it?
Buy it, play it, hate it. So,
I have to call George to send it down to me.
yeah, send it down, George. All right, so that's our top 5 Christmas party 2-player games.
Two-player.
games.
2-player games.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho.